All right, cool. So yeah, so it sounds like the agenda is approved at 6:19. Welcome everybody to the executive committee meeting for the PTA. So just a reminder, because I know some folks are newer, maybe this is their first or second meeting. The goal of our meeting tonight for the board is really on a monthly basis, kind of a quick check-in in preparation for our general meeting. So there might be some stuff that we are addressing tonight that because of time sensitivity, like if, for instance, a budget needed to get approved before our general meeting, we could do that kind of stuff. But really the goal of tonight's meeting is to set the agenda. So just keep that in mind, because we try to keep our board meeting short. So even though we have allocated an hour for it, the goal is 30 minutes to get it, in and out kind of thing. So while we can have a little bit of discussion, this is not really the forum for it. We want to kind of save the conversations for next week's meeting, the general meeting, because the general meeting is the highest voting body of the PTA. We don't really have decision-making power. We're just kind of helping guide the conversation. So with that, just looking over the agenda really quickly. Oh wait, before we get into it too, maybe we should do some quick intros, because I don't think we all have met each other or know each other, because we're kind of growing as the weeks progress. So maybe just your name, your child's name and grade, and what's a good icebreaker? Anybody got any good icebreakers they've done at work or something like that? Ellen looks like she has good icebreakers, but she's muted, so I don't know.
I mean, always a good one, I guess, is like a pro and con, not a pro and con, but
what do you like about the holidays, and what do you dislike about the holidays?
Yeah, what's your favorite part about the holidays? That's a good one.
Okay, cool. So you want to get us started?
Sure. I'm Ellen. Malaya is my daughter in the first grade in Miss Lopez and Miss Laloy's class. And I like most about the holidays, like having some time to decompress and just be like home and bake and cook and those kinds of things. Should I pass it to someone?
Yeah, pass it to somebody.
I'm gonna pass it to Kala.
Hi, I'm Kala. This is Linus. He's going by Wendy from Bob the Builder. He is in 3K, still not yet 3. And my favorite thing about the holidays is the religious component of it. And religious, so I'm in Advent right now, waiting for the coming of our Savior.
Awesome. And just pass it off to somebody.
Sean, go ahead.
Okay, so Sean, my daughter Kaya is in the first grade, Miss Layard's class, and the thing I love the most about the holidays is the decorations. So like growing up as a kid, I grew up near Park Avenue, not in the nice part. I grew up a little further north, but we would walk to kind of like the bougie neighborhoods and see all the Christmas lights and stuff like that. And something like going to like see the Rockefeller tree and the light show and all that kind of stuff is a big part of how I've always celebrated. So I really enjoy that. And I will pass it off to Maggie.
Hi, everyone. Maggie. My child's name is Chelsea. She's in first grade with Ms. Lopez as Ms. Laloy. I think you stole my answer, Sean. I love the I love the Christmas lights and just going around the houses and looking at all the decorations. Alex is big on decorating the house. I'm not. I just like to look at it.
Awesome,
And
man.
then let's see. Pass it over to, let's see, to Brenda.
Hey, good afternoon. Well, good evening. I have two kids in Star. My daughter is in Miss Laloy and Miss Lopez, Eva, her name is. And then my son Jairo is in third grade with Miss Tucker and Miss Trail, I believe. Don't quote me. The pro about the holiday is that, you know, everybody comes over, we eat, we drink, giggle, kids play together. I really just dislike always having to clean up. So that's why we only do 2 holidays in my family. But one I'm only here for, which is just Christmas. The other I go somewhere else to make a mess, so I don't have to clean up. I will pass it to Jenny.
Hey, yeah, I'm Jenny. I'm Kaya's mom. She's with Miss Laird in first grade. Holidays, many things, very similar to, I think, each of what everybody mentioned, but I think one thing I really have started to enjoy the most is watching holiday baking championship shows with Kaya and baking, getting inspiration to do some cool baking in the house and all the yummy smells and spices. And I love the decorations and all that stuff, but I really started to enjoy baking a lot more during the holidays now that Kaya is starting to get into it. So yeah, one of my favorite things, and to bring stuff to my family when we go over for the holidays so that other people can enjoy it. And it's not in my house and I'm not eating an abundance of sweets. So yeah, that's one of the things I enjoy. And I don't know who is left on here. Chris, I would choose you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris. I'm the treasurer. My daughter is Maya. She's in Miss Laird's class.
I got pick an elephant book.
Yes. I would say that my favorite part of the holidays is just spending time with family.
Yep.
And we got Karen on there too. You're on mute, Karen.
Hello?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry. I was in the train just getting to Manhattan. Well, I'm Elia's mother, and my favorite holiday, I believe, is Christmas. I try to make games on that season with my family. Also, I like to do decorations and food on that day. So pretty much, it's a nice moment to spend with family. And I pass to you. I didn't hear anything from you, I believe.
Yeah, I talked about decorations, but I think
I'm sorry.
no, because you were bouncing in and out. It's all right. It's all right. I won't take it personal. Thank you, Karen. All right, so let's get into the agenda then. So first thing is going through quick committee reports. So 2 minutes for these. And with the committee reports, at this meeting, we're really trying to get our committee chairs to kind of do a quick share of what they're going to share at next week's meeting. And if there's any feedback from the rest of the group on things that they think need to be explained further at the general meeting or not, or taken out of the report, you know, like if you have feedback on the report, it's a good time to give that now to support the chairs. So before we get to the actual chairs, I want to talk about the membership and budget committees. These are 2 committees that we're forming next. And so the membership committee is the group that is kind of dedicated to thinking about recruitment for the PTA. So like, how do we bring more people into the PTA? How do we keep people engaged? How do we keep people excited about the PTA? It's also the group that thinks about like equity. Are we recruiting from everybody? Or do we have a diverse PTA? You know, diverse in terms of the grades that are represented, diverse in terms of ethnicity, social economic status, gender, all those kind of things. So the membership committee thinks through that. So like, for instance, like I'm the only dad on the call, you know, that might be something the membership committee is like, hey, let's do something that's going to attract more dads to the PTA. Or like there's a lot of younger kids parents on the call.
First grade parents.
Yeah, a lot of first grade parents. Like, how do we recruit from the other grades? What, you know, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? So that's the membership committee. So we'll be talking about that next week and trying to pull people into that, especially for the new year. And also too, for the committee chairs, just something to always think about is like recruiting people into the committee. The more people that we have in the committee, the more you know, minds that we have on things, the more we can share the load of work. I would also say that it's a very hard thing to do because parents are usually overwhelmed, and thinking about taking on responsibility for a PTA can be overwhelming. So we have to be, you know, tactful, and we have to make sure we're not burning people out. We have to make sure like on our chats that we're not like overwhelming people in our chats. We have to make sure that we're mindful of how many meetings we're calling for. You know, if like we're having a meeting every week, that's not really sustainable for a lot of people. So we'll have the membership committee kind of thinking through that stuff more, but it's something that I think the chairs should consider as well. And then the budget committee, so we talked about this last month, but the budget committee is the group that helps formulate the annual budget. There's an end of year budget report that we have to get done in May for June approval. That's going to be for the following year. So we're like setting the goals for fundraising. We're setting the plan for expenses, what kind of things that we're going to invest in. Like I know today in the fundraising chat, Maggie, you brought up a question of, you know, the vaccine incentive. We raise, you know, $2,000. What are we gonna do with it? So the budget committee kind of thinks through those things and creates the budget. So we have one at the end of the year, and then we have one at the middle of the year. So that one has to get done at the end of January, early February. So we're gonna try to form the committee this month, have that group do some work sessions to kind of talk through the budget and try to get it done by January's meeting for review. So just a heads up on those. Anybody have any questions or other thoughts on the membership committee and the budget committees?
For membership, do you make appeals to like teachers as well as like just kind of like from our own efforts? Like could a teacher or like some other personnel at the school potentially like recommend very involved parents to us or things like that?
Yeah, I think that's a good. I think it's a good idea that the membership committee should talk through one, recruiting more teachers to the PTA because we're supposed to have teachers represented on the PTA, and then also kind of something we talked about at the beginning of the year. Ellen, is kind of to your point. We talked about classroom reps, asking each teacher to identify a parent in their classroom who can be participate in the PTA meetings or some committee. That way we could get that diverse representation. So that would be like those kind of ideas would be stuff that the membership committee is thinking through for recruitment. Cool. Awesome. So then let's get into some of the committee reports right now. So the first one we got listed here is the book fair committee. So that's Jenny. Jenny's the chair of the book fair committee.
All right. So am I good to speak now or anything?
Yeah.
All right. So The book fair, we didn't do as well as I would have hoped, but we didn't do that bad. It was, the push came towards the very end, the last few days after we extended Cala. I know we talked about this in the chat. We had extended it those 3 days, and we kind of saw a small jump. We finished with, I believe it was close to 1,200 versus the 1,600 that we were hoping for. I mean, it's not bad. It's about, I think, close to or about 75% of goal. So, but this was like with lots of effort, with me kind of sending communications to Shai, a parent coordinator, trying to get the teachers involved, like having her email teachers to remind them to use if they did have e-wallet money, and also emailing, contacting parents to use the funds that were in their e-wallets, and just trying to get as much momentum going. We're doing as much posting as we could. Granted, because it's a virtual fair, it's really hard to kind of get other volunteers and things involved because it was all just online, set up for people to just kind of virtually shop. The downside is that those folks that ordered, the book fair, our book fair representative from Scholastic contacted me and told me that everything is delayed in terms of orders not coming in until about January. So that's the only thing. I think parents will kind of, you know, may have a complaint or may not, you know, be dissatisfied with that, because I wasn't aware until like maybe a few days before the fair was ending. And I got a message from her saying, hey, just so you know, things are going to be really backed up because of I don't know, what is it called? The shipping, the shipping delays. And also there was a shortage that Scholastic was experiencing with some books that they were supposed to have, and things like that, that I'm not sure how that's going to affect folks getting the books that were ordered. So I'm looking forward to the spring and being in person. And so that's something that we'll be discussing, or I would just put in the chat, in the book fair committee chat, when we are thinking about, you know, hosting in the spring, and something I'll talk about at the next PTA meeting as well. That's pretty much it. I mean, that was the only thing. I mean, I was kind of happy we got to 1,200 at least, but it was a lot of, you know, effort trying to reach out to teachers, and the teachers were obviously swamped. So you see how it goes when we do it in person, which I think will be much better in person anyway. So that's pretty much what I got. I don't know if there's anything that I'm leaving out, but.
Hey, I had a question.
Yeah.
The book fair. I personally didn't buy books only because I have a personal extreme library here, but
yeah,
I donated to the teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So does the teachers' purchases go towards the PTA's book fair, or is that separate?
So yeah, whatever, if you gave the teacher like money in an e-wallet, as long as they purchase during the book fair, I mean, there's quite a bit of money that people and teachers did not use at the book fair. I can see it when I log in. So that money will carry over to the in-person fair. So I'll be sure to print that out and have Shai, our parent coordinator, reach out to folks that have money still in their e-wallets, just so that they can use it at our next fair. It's not lost, it'll just carry over. But you may want to follow up with the teacher. Hopefully they used it.
No, well, I know the first grade, they didn't have to, because I believe that they were going to purchase books, but they actually sent me the list of books that they actually purchased. So I was like, okay, good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good then. Yeah, so, you know, we don't get any actual physical money. So this is, you know, only Scholastic rewards bucks, which we're probably only going to see maybe $300 out of the 1,200, because we only get 25%. The final numbers will be sent to me in a couple of days. I'm going to reach out to the representative again, and then I'll have those numbers hopefully for the PTA meeting to share.
All right, cool. And I think maybe too, if it's possible for the book fair committee to draft up some language for a thank you post for Dojo. And in there, we can kind of put that one line about like, you know, due to supply chain stuff, we've been notified that there's going to be a delay until after holidays, just so that parents get a heads up and they're not like expecting stuff prior to Christmas and then, or, you know, the holidays and then it coming afterwards. And then we, you know, if you draft up that language, we can send it out this week. Okay, cool. So, thanks, Jenny. So heading over to fundraising. So we have one of our newer chairs, Maggie. So Maggie, you want to update us on kind of what's going on with fundraising?
Sure. All right. So let's take a look here. So from our last conversation that we had, I know with Jenny, we said we were going to do the family portrait holiday, but due to the time constraint, I don't think that's going to happen. So we're going to move on to the, I believe the holiday pie bake sale. So that should be around December 16, 17. Still trying to kind of figure out logistics in terms of what we're going to do for that particular bake sale. We were thinking to maybe reaching out to local bakeries to kind of donate pies or cookie kits for the bake sale. And I'm not sure if, I know I was looking through the swap file that you shared with me, Sean. I think it said something about that there was a flyer sent out about asking parents if they would like to donate for the bake sale. I'm not sure if that's something that we wanted to do this year. I don't know, Jenny, your thoughts on that, as I'm kind of new to you've done it for I think a year or 2 years, right, for the bake sale. Not sure if you asked parents to donate as well, if we're going to do that this year. Is that a yes, Jenny? I think
no, you are correct. We in the past have like sent out, you know, a form. This is what we are looking for donations. Mm-hmm. Because of COVID, this is something we can talk about maybe on a Zoom later on this week or next week. But I have a hesitancy to do that this year. So something we could discuss. I don't know how others feel, but you know, I don't want to take too much time. I know Sean wants to keep it very right. Consolidated.
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk offline and we can talk
offline.
I mean, yeah.
If people have ideas, let us know now. But yeah, you know, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Just to kind of keep safety protocols and, you know,
right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably people are going to want to probably buy things that are packaged versus, you know, like somebody so I think it makes sense for me even to just go and ask local bakeries, you know, and kind of package that. And then we were talking about also the readathon in March. I still have to look into exactly what that entails. So I need to kind of dive in a little more on that. And then in January, let's see, and there's a couple of things. I know the clothing swap, that's not something, right, Sean, that we were thinking of doing. I know it's this month, but that's out of the fundraising committee, you said? That's separate, right?
Yeah, that will be independent from fundraising. Because we're not going to have any fundraising component. I mean, unless we're not asking for any money on it.
No.
So.
Okay. All right. So then I spoke to Shai via Class Dojo, and we were talking about the t-shirts and hoodies, but I don't have a lot of information on that. I don't know if Jenny, you can help me kind of reach out to her again, but she said she was looking for a vendor and kind of finding out which one would be the best. So still waiting on that. I think that would be also a good potential fundraising event for us. And then we were thinking also of during the springtime, the gardening movie. I mean, I know I'm going into more like next year, but like for now, December is just like the bake sale. That's kind of our focus. And my focus is also kind of reaching out to and kind of submitting the grant for Walmart. So hopefully we can get between $500 to $5,000. So we'll see. I'm still in need of one more form before I submit it. And then you and I, Sean, need to kind of go over that because there are a couple of questions that you may have more information than what I have on hand.
All right, sounds good. I would say if you are going to have another fundraising committee, because it sounds like there's some logistics you're still trying to sort. If there's another fundraising committee meeting planned, we can announce it at next Tuesday's general meeting and kind of encourage some folks to jump in on that, and spark some of that conversation about COVID stuff and all that kind of thing. Cool. Awesome.
Wait, I have a question because I know that notification for that kind of stuff, especially for the bake sale, needs 10-day notice. And so like if we wait, Friday's the 3rd, 4th, Monday will be the 6th, that'll be 10 days out as of Monday.
Yeah, we can do it,
Yeah.
like in Dojo, we can put like a calendar event in Dojo to kind of save the date. We don't have to have all the logistics sorted, just like we're going to be having a bake sale on the 16th or 17th, whatever you decide. And then we can do a planning meeting in between, you know what I mean? Like we don't have to have all the details sorted to kind of announce the event happening. So yeah, if y'all can settle on a date and stuff like that, we'll get that into Dojo as like an event. Cool, awesome. And next we got garden committee.
Hey, really most of the work of the garden right now is like shutting it down for the winter, getting, plants that are not gonna like come back next year or that are like dead for the season, just like either cut back or taken out. And I mean, that's really like the work of the garden in terms of like events and engagement. We're moving forward with doing the forcing paper white bulbs in the classrooms. So we had just like a brief meeting with a few of those that, like really myself and a couple of folks from TNS and Miss Adu from STAR today. Had a brief meeting. We're gonna be sending out this week an email just to like high level, let parent coordinators and principals basically know that we have the bulbs. We're gonna be doing that. We're really hoping that we're gonna be able to make it work in a week or two before the Christmas break. So, and we're hoping that we'll be able to also like, as parents, those of us that are vaccinated, like go into the classrooms and do the setup. So
I don't know if it's me, but I lost you, Ellen. It's just me. Is it me or is she frozen for everybody?
Yeah, she's frozen.
All right, Ellen, I think you lost a little connection. See if she gets back. All right, cool. We'll see if she can reconnect. But that sounds great so far from what we can hear. Oh, I think she's trying to. We're not hearing you too good, Ellen. Maybe someone could drop it in the chat. Let her know that her connection's a little off. Oh, there she goes. We dropped her. All right, cool. So we'll come back to that if Ellen has anything to add. So just kind of moving into the old business, we've already reviewed the book fair, the turkey drive. So for those who didn't hear about this, there was a turkey drive hosted with one of our community partners, the Lower East Side Center, and local assembly person Harvey Epstein, who's a friend of Star Academy and TNS. So we were able to reserve a few dozen turkeys and bednies, which is like pork, for Star families. Initially, we had sent out a communication as the PTA to Harvey's office to kind of get the reservation, then found out that Shy, our parent coordinator, also had reached out, or they had reached out to the schools. So we kind of stepped back on that front because Shy was kind of like in the zone with kind of organizing for it. So we kind of like, all right, cool, then you organize it and we'll just try to get some volunteers their day of. Unfortunately, only like 2 star parents actually came and picked up their reserved stuff. So there was like a ball drop there. So we're gonna follow up with Shy and see, you know, what happened. And then maybe, you know, next year the PTA can step up a little bit more and take a little bit more ownership over that one, so that we can ensure that parents are knowing about the turkey drive and able to get out there, get their free turkeys or pennies and stuff like that. But it was a great success overall. I think we were able to distribute over 1,000, so 700 turkeys and 300 pennies through, you know, to community members, senior centers. We invited local schools to participate. It was a really, really great turnout. Any questions about or thoughts on the turkey drive? Okay, cool. So picture day review. So we followed up with the picture day folks today to make sure that everything was good with our clearing of our invoices and the timetables. And we still have the guarantee that we'll get the pictures before the holiday break. But we're going to continue to follow up with the company. And then we also talked about it in some offline meetings that we're going to try to schedule an absent, they call it absent day or retake day. So it's a day for people who weren't there that day to be able to take pictures, and also for any retakes that need to happen. And that's probably going to be after the holiday break. They said they're just going to be too backed up to do it prior to the holiday break. And then we also had discussed doing a 5th grade picture day. So for the 5th graders to be able to do cap and gown, to be able to do some outdoor group pictures, like organize like a 2 or 3 hour photo shoot basically for them. And the company is really excited to come and do that for us. And then another idea that had been thrown around is possibly doing as part of the Teacher Appreciation Week, which is the first week of May. We talked about doing some stuff for teacher appreciation, setting up actually a small photo shoot for the teachers. So we can get, you know, pictures of the teachers, of all teachers too, not just teacher staff. So like getting the custodial staff, getting the teachers' aides, like getting everybody in a nice photo shoot. So we have that for the school for any kind of like, you know, senior yearbook stuff, but also just like to use around the school to kind of show the many faces of Star Academy. We had a little bit of a debrief about the picture day, the team who organized the picture day. And some of the stuff that we shared was the picture company that we finally landed on, this picture company. We're really, really happy with them. There was a couple of logistical things that we ran into day of, but it was because it was the first time we had done it with this company and we didn't know their systems and vice versa. But by the middle of the picture day and definitely towards the end, we had a really smooth system. And so now we kind of know how they work and how we can make the future picture days like more seamless. But they were super fair about pricing. Again, we talked about this in the past. They gave us 20 to 30 free packages for families in need. They took pictures of every single child so that there can be class group composites, which is, they're doing something absolutely free. That was not something that we got charged for. They're even going to have all of the pictures on file for 10 years. So even if a parent couldn't get the picture money in prior to picture day, but after seeing the picture of their child, if they want to order after the fact, they can order more pictures after the fact. So we're just really, really happy with them. And they also, at the end of the day, they were like, how much money you collected? All right, cool. That's your invoice. Like they didn't scrutinize us. They weren't nickel and diming us. They weren't like cross-referencing their stuff. It was just very, very good to work with a company like that that understood we're a Title I school and that our families, you know, come from different social economic backgrounds. And it was nice to have, and they were also really nice guys. They had like Count Dracula voices. They were like old Russian Jews. It was really cool. They were like really cool to work with. Did anyone want to add any other thoughts on Picture Day? Karen, I think you're talking. You're not muted, but we can't hear you. I don't know if it's the mic you have set up. You there? I think she's trying to sort out her mic. Anybody else had any thoughts on Picture Day? Or questions? I think Brenda, you raised your hand.
No, that was for Jenny, but I did have a question. So you said that they were gonna keep the pictures on file for the year?
10 years.
Oh, 10 years. Okay, I know. Okay, I'm confused. Because I know I paid for sibling pictures, but then they each said they took single pictures. Will we be able to see what those look like to see if we want to purchase anything from the ones we didn't ask for?
Yeah, they're sending us a link that's like a drive with all the kids' pictures, so you can review your kids' pictures. So they did single pictures of everyone,
Oh, wow,
even the
that's
siblings.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
And they took multiple pictures. They did like 5 shots of every kid. And all of those shots are going to be uploaded so you can pick from the different pictures. I was just like in shock that they did all of that for the amount of money they were charging us. Karen said, Sean, do you know the exact day for Picture Day? She said in direct. So we don't know the exact day for the makeup day. Basically, we're going to reconnect with them after the holidays because they're kind of slammed right now trying to get everything done. So we should have, not for this December meeting, but by our January meeting, we should have some dates. But I think we're going to try to do the retake Picture Day in January. All right, cool. So moving along, we have a quick review of our wellness event we had this past week. Chris, you wanna take it away?
Absolutely. We had a small group, but it was mighty. We were able to touch base on how caring for the community is going to start with the school. We shot around some ideas on how we can incorporate that with the school. I know a lot of it is now going to be our next steps with how we can actually go about doing that, as far as getting the teachers involved, getting administration involved. So that's more of the red tape, especially on our part, because I know, yes, we can do a lot of it with the parents and the kids, but now we need to just throw the ideas against the wall and then see what sticks.
Yeah, awesome. And I think the DOE too wants to see this wellness program be successful. So we might be able to like kind of get a nudge from up top to our school to kind of support this wellness initiative, like through the district offices and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought it was a great event too. It was cold, but we held it down. Any questions or thoughts on the wellness event, or any comments?
I'm just sad I've been missing them. They look so good. Congrats, Chris. Even though they're small, they look really good.
Thank you. I'm hoping the next one that we do in February, since that will be virtual, we'll be able to get more people involved. It seems like having it virtual really helps people not have to worry about work and not have to worry about staying after drop off. So we'll make sure to get more parents and teachers involved in them as well.
Awesome. All right, cool. A quick review on the vaccine incentives. So Jenny has been working with Shy, our parent coordinator, to kind of stay on top of the vaccine incentive program. So for those who don't know, for children who are getting vaccinated, there's $100 incentive. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jenny. Is it the $100 incentive for the child's family and for the referring group like ours, or is it just $100 to the referring group?
Both. As
Okay.
long as it's their first dose, if they're doing it in person, like at the school, they just mention it. If you do it at another site that you booked, like through VaxFinder, whatever it is, like Shy posted, then you just choose our name at the drop down. And then the child gets 100. It goes to the child, not it goes to the child, and then the school gets it as well.
Yeah. So
Does it work?
What happened, Karen?
Oh, so you can hear me. Good.
Oh, we hear you.
Great. How does it work? Like, I mean, like if a child takes the shot, does it give credit for the school?
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting how they pay it out, because there's still confusion on that. But that supposedly, if they refer the school, the $100 goes to the child and $100 to the PTA. So Shy reported that based off of the first time they did it, and they also did it today, that there's roughly around $2,000 that has been fundraised for the PTA through this program. So Chris and I are going to follow up with Shy, and we're going to submit all the paperwork that we need to the DOE as soon as possible, so that they don't have an excuse to keep the money away from us. And hopefully in the next month or two, we'll see a check.
So I was just trying to find out if, like, so you were telling that by January, you will have, I'm sorry for the picture date, but you don't know if that's going to be the first week or it's going to be at the end of the month.
It's probably going to be, it's probably not going to be the first week, because it's something that we have to organize with the company, but they were saying somewhere around middle to end of the month of January.
Yeah. All right.
But as soon as we know, we'll let everybody know what the dates available are for it. It's easier for them to schedule because they're only coming in for like an hour or two versus the whole day, because they're only doing a small amount of kids. So we might be able to do it early in January. We'll try to push for that.
Sounds great.
All right, cool. So yeah, so we'll keep you posted on the vaccine incentives, and how that goes. And hopefully we'll see that reflective in our budget, which is good because it's been very hard to fundraise during the pandemic. So this is a great lift if it does pan out. All right, cool. So just quickly for Brenda's reference, agenda points for next Tuesday. So we're gonna have our report backs from each of the respective committees, and also kind of report backs from kind of the reviews that we did today. We're also going to bring to the Tuesday meeting. Is there anything in addition that we think we need to bring up at next Tuesday's general meeting?
I remember last year they used to do like selling stuff for the school to raise, and they used to send to parents like magazines with things for Christmas, to buy. Some of those were like decorations, candles, or things like were good. Like, I don't know if call it like goodies, but it was sort of like different things, and they used to put that also as part of the raising for the school. But I don't know if they are going to do that this year or not.
Yeah, the two that we used to do, one was called Penguin Patch, and then the other one was a candle sale. So it was like a website that people could order candles, and there was a portion of it that came back in fundraising. So last year we stopped doing it because we realized that we weren't really raising that much money, and that it was kind of like the companies were kind of taking advantage of the PTA. So for the Penguin Patch, we were only seeing 10% of sales. So like if we did a whole day and we sold like $1,000 of stuff, we would only see $100 maybe.
No,
So it was, it was, so we moved away from it.
What about yard sale? Because also I saw that, you know, like some places they do yard sale, like whatever. Sometimes some parents, they don't want, you know, like they don't want certain books or things that they don't wanna have it no more. They want to get ready before Christmas because they want to make space, and we can use that instead, you know, like maybe for raisins. Do you think? And we can tell parents so they can, if they want, they can come. I don't know. And also whatever race is there, it could go straight to the school.
Yeah, I think those are good ideas.
Because we're still gonna throw it, you know, like.
Yeah, exactly. No, the clothing swap, that's kind of the idea with the clothing swap, that we're trying to see if we can get organized before the end of the month, but we don't know if it'll be able to be realistic. But I think what Maggie was saying is that the bake sale is kind of like the only thing that we think that we can manage right now, and it'll be hard to host another event for fundraising. Okay. But maybe we can bring this up for fundraising after the holidays.
So the bake sale, we have to make the cakes, or we can just buy it from one company.
Yeah,
like, let's say, like Whole Foods.
Hi, Karen, it's Maggie. So I'm asking for donations for the holiday kit. So it would be like a Santa kit with the little kids, you know, come and they kind of decorate at home. I'm not thinking in terms of I haven't thought of the price, maybe between $10 to $15 per the kit. So that's something that we're going to do. It's going to be a donation from a baker.
So it's going to be a donation from a baker?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and the fundraising committee, Karen, is going to try to meet before that to talk more details. So we'll make sure that you know when they're going to meet. So maybe you can join that meeting. All right. Any other things? Oh, obviously later in the agenda, I don't know why we have it at the end of the agenda, but update on the facilities advocacy. We should definitely bring that up at the meeting, I think.
I see.
I don't know if there's a way that we're going to be able to tell. I mean, maybe we can just ask if people have been able to send anything out, but also just to make sure that we're getting like an update too from Dr. Cameron about like where things are at this point, like a month in to, you know, what was reported to us last month, you know, are the same issues standing, or has there been any like any resolve in any area? I guess that's like the biggest question I have as well. And just putting the plug out there for people to still, like, you know, it's never too late kind of to send the letters. It's not like it has to be done only like this week or next week, but people can do it ongoing.
Okay, cool.
Is it coming through better audio?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Okay. Now I forgot that we lost you. Did you have anything to add on the garden stuff before you got cut off?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Just a plug, I think like an initial plug to all of you, and then I'll do one on Tuesday also to like everyone else that's on the larger PTA meeting. We are going to be looking for parent volunteers. So if you're vaccinated and you'd like to sign up for a time to go into a classroom and like do the setup of the paper whites, you know, hopefully it's a good opportunity all around. We're hoping to, you know, it's something that's been done the last 2 years. So there are, you know, some teachers that have already done it. We're hoping to kind of like tap into them and then also get like a number of others. But we have 170 bulbs. So I think our goal is at least like 15 classes between both schools. So if you're interested, let me know. We're starting to put together like a little bit of a schedule as like we know like parents availability, and then also getting the feedback from teachers of like what works for them. So
yeah, that sounds awesome. Thank you.
And hopefully after the new year, we'll have some compost workshops starring Sean and Jenny too, if we can get you in there, right? Keep the motivation going like over the winter.
Okay, all right, awesome. I'm just adding this stuff into the document. All right, cool. So I guess really quickly on the facilities building advocacy, for those who weren't at the last meeting, just a reminder that at our last PTA meeting, a bunch of teachers came on and appealed to the PTA to support and advocating to help with some facilities issues, plumbing issues at the school, custodial support at the school, like the 4th floor of the school, the bathrooms keep getting shut down, and there's just like a lot of issues going on with facilities around the whole district. So we're not alone in this struggle, but of course we want to advocate for our school and our space. So Ellen did a really terrific job drafting up some sample emails and communications that people can send to local officials. She even put contact information for local officials, for parents. Ms. Cameron helped with some edits, and we shared that on Dojo. So next Tuesday's meeting, we're going to continue to appeal to parents, like Ellen was saying, to submit those letters. We can get some feedback. I know some of the chief of staffs of the different local officials, so we can ask them if they've been hearing from our parents. So that might be some way to gather some data. But I think it's going to take, for this one specifically, I think a class dojo post is really not the most effective. I think is when you see a parent be like, hey, did you send your email to Carlina Rivera? And the parents can be like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yo, for the 4th floor bathrooms, like having those in-person conversations, or texting your friends who are also parents and encouraging them to do it is really, I think, what's gonna, move the needle on this thing. And Maggie, you wanted to speak on a walkathon? Was that a proposal that you wanted to bring?
Yeah, I just wanted to add like one of the fundraising kind of ideas for the walkathon. Again, I have to do more research on that, but that's just one of the other fundraising events. But I do have a question. You mentioned, and I probably missed the communication, sorry if I did, about the letter. I didn't get any communication on an email or how parents can send this email. Did I miss that communication? Or
that's why I think Dojo sometimes, things just get lost on Dojo.
Yeah.
So we're gonna resend it on the email listserv that we have, and then so I'll make sure to do that this week, and then we're gonna continue to do that push. Maybe we'll try to reshare it in Dojo as well over the weekend or something like that. Ellen, you were gonna add something?
I can definitely send it out to like everyone on this call also, like just
and then I can pass it on to the other parents that I know, and that way we have more emails going out.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Cool. All right, cool. Yeah, so I think that's a pretty packed agenda for next Tuesday. So it should be good. But if anything comes up during the week that you're like, oh damn, like I forgot to mention it, but I think it's something that we really need to discuss, let us know so we can get it on the agenda if possible. Cool. So I'll see everybody next Tuesday at 6 for our general meeting. But hopefully, I'll see y'all in the chats before then.
Thanks so much, everyone.
That's good. Have a good night.
You too.
Good night, guys.
Good night.